Under the soft glow of the evening lights, two women sat across from each other in a small cafe, tucked away from the world. The hum of conversation faded into the background as Valeria and Nina found themselves lost in the quiet electricity that filled the air between them. It wasn't their first meeting, but it felt like the one that would change everything. Valeria stirred her coffee, her spoon clinking softly against the ceramic. She pretended to focus on the swirling liquid, a desperate attempt to ground herself, but her eyes kept flicking up to meet Nina's. Nina, on the other hand, traced lazy, invisible circles on the table with her fingertip, her gaze steady and searching. Every time their eyes met, a current passed between them, soft yet undeniable. They had been friends for months, their bond forged through shared laughter during silly movies, deep, late-night talks that stretched until dawn, and the profound sense of safety they felt in each other's presence. But lately, the comfortable lines of friendship had begun to blur. It no longer felt like enough. The silence stretched, filled with unspoken words and fluttering heartbeats. Finally, Nina broke it. "I keep thinking about you," she admitted, her voice so soft it was almost a whisper, trembling slightly with vulnerability. "Even when I'm not supposed to. At work, when I'm trying to read, you're just there." Valeria froze, her heart catching mid-beat. Her breath hitched. She had waited for this moment, dreamed of it, imagined it in the quiet solitude of her room, and in the gentle ache that grew stronger with each passing day. The hope was so fragile she was almost afraid to touch it. "I think about you too," she whispered back, the words feeling both monumental and completely natural on her tongue. For a long suspended second, neither of them moved. The world seemed to slow down to a crawl. The distant clatter of a cup being set down, the soft melancholic melody playing through the cafe's speakers, the flicker of the candlelight reflecting in Nina's wide, earnest eyes. It was a perfect, fragile bubble of a moment. Then, Nina reached across the table, her movements slow and deliberate. Her fingers brushed against Valeria's hand, sending a jolt of warmth shooting up her arm. The touch was feather-light, but carried the weight of everything they hadn't said. "Then stop thinking," Nina murmured, her voice a low, inviting rumble. That was all it took. The spell was broken, replaced by a surge of adrenaline and certainty. Valeria stood, her pulse racing, the legs of her chair scraping softly against the wooden floor. She walked around the table, each step feeling momentous. Nina rose to meet her, a mirror of her own longing. They were just inches apart now, standing in the small space between the table and the wall. Valeria could feel the warmth of Nina's breath on her skin, could smell the faint, intoxicating trace of vanilla and coffee. The air was thick with anticipation. It was too much to resist, a magnetic pull that had become impossible to fight. Slowly, as if in a dream, Valeria leaned in. Their lips met. It was soft at first, uncertain, a question asked in the most intimate way possible. But it was charged with everything they had held back for so long: the stolen glances, the lingering touches, the carefully chosen words. The kiss deepened, slow and full of a desperate, beautiful longing. Every fear, every hesitation, every what-if that had haunted their thoughts seemed to melt away into the warmth of their embrace. It wasn't just a kiss. It was a confession, a promise, a new beginning, all at once. It was the feeling of coming home to a place you didn't even know you were searching for. When they finally, reluctantly, pulled apart, they were both breathless. Nina smiled, a radiant, teary-eyed smile that lit up her whole face. Her eyes glistened in the soft light. "I've wanted to do that forever," she said, her voice husky. Valeria let out a shaky laugh, relief and joy bubbling up inside her. She was still trembling. "Then why didn't you?" "Because I was scared," Nina admitted, her honesty hitting Valeria right in the heart. "I was so scared you wouldn't feel the same." Valeria's expression softened. She reached up and gently brushed a stray strand of hair behind Nina's ear, her touch tender and reassuring. "You never had to be scared," she said, her voice full of affection. Outside, the city lights shimmered like tiny, distant stars, but neither woman noticed. For them, the little calf had become its own universe, a world built from courage, vulnerability, and the first taste of love freely given and received. They sat back down, but this time, they didn't let go. Their hands remained clasped on the table, fingers intertwined like roots finding purchase in rich soil. The conversation that followed was different. It was soft and easy, punctuated by bright bursts of laughter, like the sound of rain on a quiet night. They talked about everything and nothing. Their favorite childhood memories, their dreams for the future, the silly things their pets did. But every word felt lighter now, freer, unburdened by the weight of their unspoken feelings. It was as if they were learning a new language, one only they could understand. Before leaving, as they stood in the open doorway of the cafe, Nina kissed Valeria again. This time, there was no hesitation. It was a bold, confident kiss under the watchful eye of the moon. Passersby glanced their way, but neither of them cared. For the first time, they weren't hiding who they were or what they felt. They were simply two people in love. Love had found them, not with a crash of thunder, but with a quiet, persistent whisper that had finally been answered. It was gentle, fierce, and undeniably real. As they walked out into the cool night air, hand in hand, the city didn't seem so big and lonely anymore. It was just the beautiful, glittering backdrop to their new beginning. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey with Valeria and Nina. If their story touched your heart, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more love stories that celebrate connection in all its beautiful forms. We'll see you in the next one.